I can only imagine how many of you that I will get to meet on this adventure. And I am so excited to be able to create a space where all of you can be seen and heard and felt and loved, and maybe receive some support and some community so that you too can go ahead and answer the call and step into the arena and share your story, because it is so incredibly important.
Welcome back, Envisionaries, to the Dream into Being podcast, where mind science, transformational psychology, and magic all merge into one. If you're ready to dream again and transcend the inertia of what you've known, then I invite you to join me, your host and Envisioneer, Kat Divine, in expanding the boundaries of your own Fantasia by remembering that you are the master you've been waiting for.
Welcome, Envisionaries, to the Envisioneer Studios channel. My name is Kat Divine, your Envisioneer and host of the Dream into Being podcast. If you've discovered this show, then your life is truly about to transform, because we pull back the curtain and take a deeper dive into the raw, real, and authentic truth of what it takes to actually change and transform our lives. So I want to share with you the origin of why this show and why this platform came to be. So a few months ago, I was deeply humbled by the experience of learning what I thought was the carrot at the end of the road, meaning learning how to manifest, learning how to create abundance, and learning how to become a creator, entrepreneur. And what I found at the end of that road was severe exhaustion, a lot of confusion, and a sense of defeat, because what I discovered was that my North Star was completely wrong. I had my eyes focused on the wrong things, and as a result, I ended up creating a life that I simply could not sustain. And when I began to really ask myself what needed to change, what needed to come into alignment, two things became very, very crystal clear. The first one was that everything needed to be in alignment with my own well-being. That needed to be my North Star, no matter what. So that is what I am choosing to follow, is my well-being above all. And the second thing that I discovered was that I was very much out of alignment with how I was spending my life force energy. In fact, when I came to this discovery, within about 24 hours, I found out that my life was about to change and that my energy was about to be freed up so that I could recreate a life that was in alignment with my well-being. So the human in me, of course, had a reaction to that, a reaction of momentary fear and what am I going to do for money and what am I going to do to take care of myself? And yes, those are all valid things to question and answer. However, I decided to, as an experiment, take a different approach and ask myself instead, okay, with a big shift like this in my life, what else could it mean? What else could I be being freed up for to put my time and energy and focus on instead? And so when I really started to ask myself these questions, I heard a beautiful response, and it said to do my part in flooding the airwaves with conscious conversation. So at the time that I heard that, I want to say it was about a month or so ago, I actually had already made the decision to start and launch a podcast. However, as things go, they take time, and it was a little bit of a slow process getting up and off the ground. However, it was really nice because then I was much more clear on what the purpose was behind all of this. So when I heard those instructions of flooding the airwaves with conscious conversation, I started really to contemplate what exactly did that mean. So yes, that means that I can do my part, I can share my voice, I can speak my truth, and I can also interview other people and have them share their voice. However, I think what the bigger picture was that was being shown to me was the possibility of playing my part in creating a safe space for more and more people to step into the exact same calling, because my gut is telling me that it's not just me, that there's tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of us that are feeling this sense of readiness, meaning we have been training, we have been learning, we have been growing, we've been healing, we've been doing the work, and now it's time to actually step into the arena. And that's not always the most comfortable thing. However, one thing that has really, really served me in my life has been to have the support of my peers and to have community. So, although that is not available quite yet, it is down the road in the future. That will be the intention of this platform, is to connect with other like-minded people that are on the exact same journey that I'm on. So one thing that I have found really fascinating in my journey is to approach absolutely everything in my life as if it was simply an experiment. That way, it just seems to take all the pressure off, and it allows me to create a playground for myself to actually explore different topics that I find fascinating and remove any of the pressure or perfectionism that may have paralyzed me in the past. So that is really the approach that I'm taking with this podcast and with this platform. Is, first of all, it in itself is going to be this ever evolving experiment that will actually inform me what it wants to be. And I am just the steward of this creation in its own process. So there's 6 topics that I find myself consistently gravitated towards, and that is going to be the ultimate focus of the whole channel, is to truly explore the realities behind each of these topics, but through the lens of each of them being their own experiment. So the first one is absolutely my favorite, and you'll get a chance to hear about my origin story, which will explain probably why it's my favorite, because it was such a pain point for me in my life up until recently. But it would be the abundance experiment. And it's essentially really exploring poverty consciousness, the transformation of poverty consciousness to prosperity consciousness, and everything in between, and all the things that may be on the journey that we would have no idea to anticipate or plan for until we arrive. And my hope is that through my transparent sharing and through others, that maybe that journey can be a little bit easier and a little bit kinder, because it is such an incredibly important journey to take. In fact, when I have really examined all the possible solutions that could really change the world as we know it, all of them come back to abundance and prosperity consciousness. And then second to that one, which I have found to be actually essential to everything, is manifestation, the manifestation experiment. What does it take to actually take a thought and an idea and bring it into 3D reality and form? It's a true art form that I did not understand for the majority of my life. And wow, as a visionary, I'm not sure there's anything more painful than to not understand the nature of reality and the nature of creation, and to be able to take my ideas and bring them into this world in a way that could be outside of me. So that leads me to the third topic, which is the creation experiment. And I would say that most likely the conversations around this particular topic are going to be through the lens of entrepreneurship. However, it doesn't have to be. It could be through the lens of just anybody who is creating any type of art in this world in any form. But essentially just looking at the practical nature of what it takes. And again, this was such a pain point for me to not understand how to take my ideas and make them a reality. And once I learned the formula, which is truly incredibly simple, not easy, but simple, I realized that that was the exact same formula that I would use for absolutely creating everything in my life. So I'm really, really looking forward to sharing more on that topic with all of you. And the next topic is one that is just so inspiring. It's the kindness experiment, and it's just exploring the power, the true power of kindness and what it can do in our own lives and what it can do to the lives of those around us and how it can impact the world in a way that I think we have not even come close to understanding. So that is a topic that's very near and dear to me, and I'm excited to see what is possible if that becomes a value in our society, a value that is higher than some of the ones that we're currently witnessing, and what that will do to change the experience of life on Earth. And the next topic is incredibly important to me because it has actually probably been the one that has taught me and humbled me the most. And that would be the healing experiment. And this could be healing absolutely anything. This could be healing our mind. This could be healing our heart. And this could be healing our bodies. For many of us, that is the journey. And it's been such an adventure, to say the least, to go from really embodying sickness consciousness and witnessing the damage and the horrors of what that can do to a person, and then taking that all the way to perfect health consciousness and exploring all of the things in between the two. It is such an incredibly powerful journey that I'm still on. However, I'll be really excited to share what I have learned, because even if I'm just scratching the surface, it has been enough to truly change my life and change my existence. And then last but not least is the connection experiment. And this is the one that kind of makes them all work. It is our connection to ourselves. It is our connection to God or higher consciousness, universal mind, whatever you call it, whatever is the life force that created all of us and life itself. It could be the relationship of connection between you and any living being, or friends or family, or any relationships, romantic relationships, soulmate relationships. So ultimately, it is the journey of connecting to ourselves and everything around us. So hopefully that gives you a brief overview of what this platform and what this show is all about. And truly, I think the part that is the most exciting to me is that this show will be all about you. It will be all about the viewers and the listeners. And in fact, that is going to be my target audience of who I interview. So I will go ahead and put the invitation out now that if you are listening to this and any of those topics, you have experienced some kind of life transformation in any of those, I would absolutely love to have you on the show and interview you so that you could share with us what your experience was, what the real life journey looked like for you. And I'm very aware that not everybody is comfortable being seen or being heard. And what I would like to offer, at least initially, is to create a really safe space for more and more people to start stepping into the arena, but in a way that's not quite so scary. So, for any of you that are ready to be on camera and are willing to share your identity and your name, then that's absolutely available. However, if there's any of you listening that would love to share your story, but maybe share it anonymously and off camera, audio only, then I absolutely still want you on, because essentially it is your story that is going to impact and be a gift offering to the community. The main reason I am just so excited about this format is because I am just so fascinated with real life case studies of people that are in the experience. And ultimately, what my goal will be to immerse myself in enough stories and enough experiences that maybe I can start to witness and extract some patterns so that it can be easier to teach and share to anybody who is curious about how to have their own transformation. So although the majority of the guests on this show will be all of you, it'll be our peers, those of us that are on the journey, maybe just a few steps ahead. From time to time, I will absolutely still invite on some experts to help fill in the holes of maybe where we haven't quite figured everything out yet, and give us a hand up in our journey so that we're not just completely in experiment phase and just guessing our way through it. So it will be a combination of the two. And once this platform has gained some traction and has a good sized audience and community, then at that point, I will open up some opportunities for us to do maybe live Zoom calls together, and eventually the live experiments again. So we really can extract these ideas and theories and put them into practical action and practice in our life, and be able to transform and self-regulate amongst our peers, and really go through this process of learning and growing together, and all entering the arena of our life together with a lot more encouragement and support than maybe where we find ourselves right now. And the last thing I want to mention is one of the things that I think was really holding me back from launching this podcast and this channel was, I'll be really real and honest that I am a deeply empathic person. And one of my great fears, as I'm sure many of you can understand and resonate with, is the fear of the comment section. And so I've really thought about this a lot, of how do I want to approach that? And I haven't made a solid decision yet. However, I may explore a few things. I may explore turning the comments off. And however, I will share my email in the description box so that you can reach out to me if you are interested in being a guest on the show, or if you have something that you would like to share with me, but do so one-on-one in an email, that is okay as well. However, going back to what I was initially sharing about my journey is being in alignment with my well-being. If there's one thing I had to pick that feels heavy to me in this process, would be managing the comment section. It is something that just doesn't give me life. And also, I realize the possibility of damage to myself and to others if there are harsh comments. So again, I don't completely know exactly how I'm going to handle it quite yet. However, I just wanted to give you a heads up. If I ever turn them off, that's the reason why, but that you can still get in touch with me via email. And who knows, maybe at one point I will love interacting in the comment section and I'll turn it back on. So I'm just giving myself the space to not have to do this perfectly and to approach it from the perspective of this is my own experiment and what would it take for this to be in alignment with my well-being. And that was the one piece that was just like a big sore spot that, yeah, I'm just giving myself the space to do it differently based on how I'm feeling. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up as to what was happening there. Otherwise, I am so grateful and so ecstatic to be able to go on this next journey with all of you. I can only imagine how many of you that I will get to meet on this adventure. And I am so excited to be able to create a space where all of you can be seen and heard and felt and loved, and maybe receive some support and some community so that you too can go ahead and answer the call and step into the arena and share your story, because it is so incredibly important. And thank you so much to all of you for joining me on this epic adventure, and be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.